Morning rain tapped against the bus windows as Arman Qureshi tightened his worn jacket around his shoulders. Three little girls leaned against him, asleep in a careful stack of braids and backpacks. Zara, Heba, and Noor, his triplets, his entire world. He checked their lunch boxes again, though he knew they were nearly empty this week already. The city factory loomed ahead, gray and humming. Arman whispered a prayer before stepping off the bus. Since his wife passed 2 years earlier, every sunrise felt like a test he could barely pass. Still, he smiled for the girls, walking them to school before rushing toward work, already 5 minutes late. Inside the warehouse, machines roared and supervisors shouted. Arman slipped into his station, assembling packaging crates faster than his aching hands allowed. The manager, Mr. Farid, noticed immediately. He strode over with 2 co-workers behind him, smirking loudly enough for the whole shift to hear and laugh together. "Late again," Farid sneered. "Hard to manage 3 kids alone? Maybe work isn't for you." Workers chuckled. Arman lowered his eyes, apologizing quietly. He explained the girls had a school meeting, but Farid cut him off. The supervisor ripped off Arman's ID badge and tossed it onto the conveyor belt coldly. "You're fired." Silence followed, broken only by machinery clanking. Someone laughed. Another recorded on a phone. Arman felt his throat tighten, but he didn't argue. Pride meant nothing compared to food for his daughters. He picked up the badge, thanked them anyway, and walked out slowly under mocking whispers from co-workers behind him. He spent hours searching for work that day. Shops rejected him, offices ignored him, and construction sites demanded experience he didn't have. By evening, he had only coins in his pocket. Still, he bought 3 small buns and jam, pretending it was a celebration dinner for the girls' smiles. At home, the triplets sensed something wrong immediately. Zara asked where his uniform was. Arman forced a grin, saying he had a day off. But Noor saw his red eyes. Instead of questions, they hugged him together, tiny arms squeezing his waist with a comfort no adult had offered him. Later that night, the girls whispered in their bedroom. They weren't ordinary children. Their mother had taught them sign language and public speaking before her illness worsened. They also loved learning on an old borrowed laptop. Recently, they had practiced a synchronized sign performance for their school community talent day. The next morning, Arman walked them to school again, pretending normal life. He waited outside the gate longer than usual, unsure what tomorrow would bring. A teacher approached him gently. "Your daughters insisted you attend the assembly today," she said kindly. Confused but polite, he followed her inside quietly. The hall was packed with parents, teachers, and even local business owners invited by the school principal. Arman sat in the back row, nervous. Curtains opened slowly. His daughters stood on stage wearing matching blue dresses their late mother had stitched years ago, holding microphones but not speaking aloud. Soft music began. The girls performed synchronized signing while a narrator translated. The story described a father who worked endlessly, never complained, and sacrificed everything for his children. As gestures flowed gracefully, the audience grew silent. Arman realized the story was his life being told gently with love. Tears rolled down his face before he noticed cameras recording everywhere. One guest, a visiting Education Foundation CEO named Samina Rahman, watched intensely. When the performance ended, the hall erupted into applause. Samina stood up first, clapping longer than anyone else in the audience present there. She walked onto stage and knelt beside the triplets. "Who taught you this?" she asked softly. Heba pointed directly toward Arman in the back row. Every head turned toward him. Embarrassed, he stood awkwardly. Samina asked him forward, and teachers guided him through the aisle filled with murmurs. Samina spoke into the microphone. "These girls didn't just perform art. They showed resilience, education, and family strength. Our foundation sponsors talented students, but today, I want to help their father too." The audience leaned closer as Arman stood speechless, unsure what was happening before everyone watching. She explained her organization ran a community learning center and needed a caretaker supervisor, someone trustworthy more than experienced. After speaking privately with teachers about Armin's character, she offered him the job immediately, full salary, health benefits, and flexible hours so he could raise his daughters. Armin tried to answer, but emotion blocked his words. The girls hugged him tightly on stage. Parents wiped tears quietly. Even the principal looked overwhelmed. Samina then announced scholarships for all 3 girls through secondary school. The applause returned louder, echoing through the hall like thunderous rain outside. That evening, the performance video spread online. By morning, it reached thousands, then millions. Among viewers was Mr. Farid, the factory manager. Workers watched together during break, recognizing Armin instantly. Their laughter disappeared as they saw the girl's story and the public support flooding comments worldwide online. Farid felt shame burn his face. He visited the school personally, hoping to apologize. But Armin was busy signing employment papers at the Learning Center office. When they finally met, Farid stuttered regretfully, offering his old job back. Armin smiled politely and declined, wishing him kindness instead sincerely. Weeks passed. Armin's new role suited him. He managed classrooms, greeted children, and repaired desks. The girls studied nearby after school, often helping younger students learn sign language. The center slowly became a welcoming place for families. For the first time since loss, Armin felt peaceful inside again. One afternoon, a reporter asked Zara what impossible thing they had done. She answered simply, "We didn't change the world. We reminded people to see hearts before mistakes." Armin listened quietly nearby, realizing his daughters had given him more than employment. They had restored his dignity forever completely.